Yeyanilo Premadana Karuna Prachur He no Prabhu Kotha Gela Charya Thakur Kaha Moda Swarup Rupa Kaha Sanatan Kaha Dasa Raghunata Patita Pavan Kaha Mora Bhatta Juga Kaha Kavira Eka Kali Kotha Gela Goranataraj Pashani Kuti Bo Matha Anale Pashibo Gauranga Gunera Nidhi Kota Gele Pabo Se Sabba Sangira Sange Je Koilo Bilas Se Sangana Paya Kande Narottamada Anilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur He no Prabhu Kotha Gela Charya Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. I'll read the English. It's easy then. I'll read the English. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivas Acharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? And where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against a rock and enter into fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees, in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps. Hare Krishna. Jai. Okay. There. Set it up.
Hare Krishna. So today is an auspicious day of first Ekadasi and also disappearance days of two of our acharyas, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad and Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Pad. So we'll briefly read about. Three. Another one is there. Raghunath Das, Krishna Das Kaviraj. Oh, Raghunath Bhatt also. Okay. So three, much more auspicious. Yeah. So we'll read about Raghunath Das Goswami Path. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami Path. Born in a dynasty of Vaishnavas, Raghunath Das Goswami was the only son of a wealthy landowner. As a boy, he received Haridas Thakur's association and blessings. At 15, he met Lord Chaitanya. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda, he renounced a beautiful wife and an opulent family. He ran to Jagannath Puri to intimately serve Sri Gaurarai and his Siksha Guru Swarupa Damodar Goswami for 16 years. Lord Gauranga gave his personal Govardhana Sila and Gunjamala to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das couldn't live after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world. So he came to Vrindavan to end his life by jumping off Govardhan Hill. Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis affectionately received him. They convinced him to live on and enlighten all the Vrajavasi Vaishnavas with Sriman Mahaprabhu's Puri pastimes. For 3 hours a day on the banks of Radha Kunda, he spoke about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das did Radha Krishna Bhajana at Radha Kunda for 40 years. He lived an austere life of pure devotion. Raghunath Das Goswami showed the standard of renunciation required to attain the eternal loving service of Radha Giridhari in the Nitya Nikunja Leelas at Radha Kunda. His perfect example enthuses all Gaudiya Vaishnavas to develop unalloyed pure love for Radha Krishna. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami's daily bhajana included chanting 64 rounds japa, that is 100,000 holy names, doing Manasi Seva in his spiritual body, worshipping Govardhan Sila, bathing thrice in Radha Kunda, offering 1,000 obeisances to Krishna, offering 2,000 to Vaishnavas and embracing them, resting 90 minutes and some days not at all. Keep in mind, however, when an eternal associate of Lord externally rests, internally he continues serving. He ate only one leaf cup, 100 grams of buttermilk daily. Throughout his life, he never ate anything for sense gratification. He took the bare minimum to keep body and soul together. It's said that after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya, Raghunath Das ate only fruit and milk. After Sri Sanatan Goswami Pad left, he existed on a leaf cup of buttermilk every day or two. And when Sri Rupa Goswami entered Nitya Leela, Raghunath gave up all eating and drinking. He was slowly burning in the fire of separation from the Lord and his loving servants. The Vrajavasis would cry upon seeing his weakened condition. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami wrote 3 books, Thavavalli contains Manasiksha, Vilapa Kusumanjali and more, Mukta Charita and Dana Keli Chintamani. In Jaiva Dharma, Srila Thakura Bhaktivinoda said, Raghunath Das Goswami showed the esoteric method of engaging oneself in the loving service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Raghunath Das wrote and taught that the divine service of Srimati Radharani in Vrindavana is the topmost spiritual perfection. For this, he was known as the Prayojana Acharya, the teacher who reveals the highest fulfillment in life. Raghunath Das Goswami clearly established the supremacy of Srimati Radharani in Radharani. In Vilapa Kusumanjali, a collection of intimate prayers, he states that Sri Radha's service is the highest attainment. Feeling extreme impatience and hopelessness due to separation from queen of his life, he desperately prays for Radharani's service. My life is worthless. I will give it up without receiving your mercy. Living in Radha Kunda and Vrindavan is meaningless to me. To say nothing of Vrindavana, even Krishna himself is useless to me without you. O Srimati Radharani, you are the only object of my life. Please be merciful to me. Crying profusely in great lamentation, I hold your lotus feet to my heart and beg for your loving service. May this Vilapa Kusumanjali bring even the slightest satisfaction to you. Srila Raghunath Das serves Sri Radha as Ratimanjari in Sri Vrindavan Dhama. His Samadhi is at Radha Kunda and 64 Samadhis area. So this is about Raghunath Das Goswami Pad. So we'll read about Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad. Appearing near Katwa, Krishnadas Kaviraj left for Vrindavan after Lord Nityananda told him in a dream, Are Are Krishna Dasa Nakaraha Bhaya Vrindavana Yahatana Sarvalaya Haya. O my dear Krishnadasa, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavana, for there you will attain all things. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 195. Krishnadas took Diksha from Raghunath Das Goswami. He lived a renounced life at Shyamakunda near Manasa Pavana Ghat, Radharani's midday bathing place. Sri Jiva Goswami, as per his custom of giving titles of honor to qualified devotees, gave Krishnadasa the title Kaviraja, the king of poets, for his poetic masterpiece Govinda Lilamrita. Sri Narottam Das Thakur wrote in Prarthana, Krishnadas Kaviraja, who composed the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, is the connoisseur among the devotees. His Govinda Lilamrita moves stones to tears, but alas, my mind is not attracted to it. During Krishnadasa's time, all the Vaishnavas would gather at Govindaji's temple to hear Sri Haridas Pandit read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata. The devotees were eager to hear about Lord Gauranga's later pastimes, so they asked Krishnadas Kaviraja to write them. So Krishnadasa prayed to Madana Mohana for ability and blessings. The deity's flower garland fell down, indicating divine sanction. Krishnadas Kaviraja's Chaitanya Charitamrita is the most accurate, authentic and philosophical biography of Lord Chaitanya. Every line is full of infinite humility, enthusiasm and devotion for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Krishnadas had the wonderful power of speaking without offending, even when rebuking his opponents. He had vast knowledge in all Vedic scriptures. His books show his skill in Shrutis, Smritis, Nyaya, Jyotir Shastra and the culinary arts. Although he was an erudite scholar, a strict ascetic, a Paramahamsa Rasika Vaishnava, Krishnadasa writes about himself, I am deaf, dumb, wholly illiterate, worldly minded and lower than a worm in stool. His personal humility automatically attracts the heart of any reader of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraja was a living example of humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. A devotee will advance spiritually and understand Sri Chaitanya's teachings on Radha Krishna Prema Bhakti by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. By associating with Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraja, an eternally liberated associate of Lord Krishna, one will develop the Vaishnava qualities of humility, innocence, integrity, equanimity, gentleness, purity, selflessness, patience, kindness, gravity, freedom from material desires, mild temperament, control over the 6 passions, friendliness, honoring all beings, being silent, expert, poetic and absolute surrender to Sri Krishna. In Vrajalila, Krishnadas Kaviraja is Kasturi Manjari, one of the 8 most intimate maidservants of Srimati Radharani. His Samadhi is at Radha Kunda and at the Radha Damodar temple, according to some. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad ki Jai. Raghunath Bhatta. Okay. Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami Pad. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami remained a lifelong brahmachari. His service was constant chanting of Hare Krishna and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. In Jagannath Puri, Raghunath satisfied Lord Gauranga by his exceptional cooking and kirtana performances, which won him the title Kirtanacharya. When he came to Vrindavana, the Vaishnavas, including Sri Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, would regularly listen to his singing of Bhagavata slokas in 4 tunes as sweet as a cuckoo. His recitation was unparalleled. Even Vyasadeva enjoyed it. He fulfilled Lord Chaitanya's order to preach the glories and peerless significance of Grandharaja Srimad Bhagavatam. His tears of pure love for Radha Govinda would wet the pages. Raghunath Bhatta was so absorbed in Krishna Katha that he never heard or spoke worldly topics, what to speak of criticizing devotees. He believed that all Vaishnavas are sincerely serving the Lord according to their realization, and therefore one should overlook their faults. Under his inspiration, a wealthy disciple built a gorgeous temple in Vrindavana for Sri Sri Radha Govindaji. Even after 450 years, this intricately hand-carved red stone temple remains the most beautiful temple in Vrindavana and all of northern India. Raghunath Bhatta Goswami faithfully served Govindaji for 40 years. He was a scholar in all subjects. Although he didn't write any books like other Goswamis, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami learned everything simply by hearing Shastras. Fearing that Muslims might desecrate Raghunath Bhatta Goswami's sacred form, Sri Jiva Goswami had his body burned. The ashes were placed in 2 samadhis, one in Radha Kunda, another in the 64 samadhis area. In Radha Govindaji's Nitya Leela, he serves as Rasa or Ragamanjari, one of Sri Radha's Ashtamanjaris. Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, on this auspicious occasion, we'll pray to our acharyas to give spiritual strength to continue our endeavors in spiritual life. So with that, we'll continue our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Everyone can repeat. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, and Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. On this day of 3rd October in San Diego, California, USA, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Withdrawal of Cosmic Creations, Chapter 24, Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation, and text 16. You can repeat after me. Tasyadinataram vakyam asrutya samahipatihi Kalashapsu nidhayainam Dayalur ninya ashramam Tasyadinataram vakyam Asrutya samahipatihi Kalashapsu nidhayainam Dayalur ninya ashramam Tasyadinataram vakyam Asrutya samahipatihi Kalasapsu nidhayainam Dayalurninya ashramam. Tasyadinataram vakyam. Asrutya samahipatihi. Kalasapsunidhayenam. Kalasapsunidhayenam. Dayalurninya ashramam. Tasyadinataram vakyam. Asrutya samahipatihi. Kalasapsunidhayenam. Dayalurninya ashramam. Vaishnavis. Tasyadinataram vakyam. Asrutya samahipatihi. Kalasapsunidhayenam. Dayalurninya ashramam. Tasyadinataram vakyam. Asrutya samahipatihi. Kalasapsunidhayenam. Dayalurninya ashramam. Yeah. Anyone online?
Tasyadinataram vakyam.
Tasyadinataram vakyam.
Asrutya samahipatihi.
Asrutya samahipatihi.
Kalasapsunidhayenam.
Kalasapsunidhayenam.
Dayalurninya ashramam.
Dayalurninya ashramam. Anyone else? Okay. What word synonyms? Tasya, of the fish. Deenataram, pitiable. Vakyam, words. Asrutya, hearing. Sa, that. Mahipatihi, the king. Kalasapsu, in the water, contained in the water jug. Nidhaya, taking. Enam, the fish. Dayalu, merciful. Ninye, brought. Ashramam, to his residence. So it's supposed to be text 30 for the per word, but okay, we will translations and then read the word. Okay, okay. So translation by his Divine A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The merciful king, being moved by the pitiable words of the fish, placed the fish in a water jug and brought him to his own residence. Text 17. But in one night, that fish grew so much that he could not move his body comfortably in the water of the pot. He then spoke to the king as follows. Text 18. O my dear king, I do not like living in this water pot with such great difficulty. Therefore, please find some better reservoir of water where I can live comfortably. Text 19. Then taking the fish out of water pot, the king threw him in a large well. But within a moment, the fish developed to the length of 3 cubits. So cubit is like, in India, even if you go, they give flowers in 1 forearm length. Like 2 cubits is like 250 rupees, something like that. So the 3 cubits is the length that the fish grew now. So the fish then said, "My dear king, this reservoir of water is not fit for my happy residence. Please give me a more extensive pool of water, for I have taken shelter of you." Then text 21. O Maharaj Parikshit, the king took the fish from the well and threw him in a lake. But the fish then assumed a gigantic form exceeding the extent of water. So text 22. The fish then said, "O king, I am a large aquatic and this water is not at all suitable for me. Now kindly find some way to save me. It would be better to put me in the water of a lake that will never reduce." Text 23. When thus requested, King Satyavrata took the fish to the largest reservoir of water, but when that was also proved insufficient, the king at last threw the gigantic fish into the ocean. Text 24. While being thrown into the ocean, the fish said to King Satyavrata, "O hero, in this water there are very powerful and dangerous sharks that will eat me. Therefore you should not throw me in this place." So text 25. Evam vimohitastena vadata valgu bharatim tammaha ko bhavanasman matsya rupena mohayan. Then the king understands and asks them, "Aha, ko bhavanasman," like that he'll ask. After hearing these sweet words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of a fish, the king, being bewildered, asked him, "Who are you, sir? You simply bewilder us." So text 26. Naivam viryo jalacharo drushto asamabhi srutopi va yo bhavan yojanassatam ahna bhivyanase saraha. My Lord, in one day you have expanded yourself for hundreds of miles, covering the water of river and the ocean. Before this, I had never seen or heard of such an aquatic animal. 27.
Forget the Sanskrit because we're running low on time.
Yeah. Translation. My Lord, you are certainly the inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, Srihari. It is to show your mercy to the living entities that you have now assumed the form of an aquatic. So text 28. O my Lord, Master of creation, maintenance and annihilation, O best of enjoyers, Lord Vishnu, you are the leader and destination of the surrendered devotees like us. Therefore let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Text 29. All your pastimes and incarnations certainly appear for the welfare of all living entities. Therefore, my Lord, I wish to know the purpose for which you have assumed this form of a fish. So text 30, the translation, O my Lord, possessing eyes like the petals of a lotus, the worship of the demigods who are in bodily concept of life is fruitless in all aspects. The worship of the demigods who are in bodily concept of life is fruitless in all respects. But because you are the supreme friend and dearmost supersoul of everyone, worship of your lotus feet is never useless. You have therefore manifested your form as a fish. Purport. The demigods like Indra, Chandra and Surya are ordinary living entities who are differentiated parts and parcels of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord expands himself through the living beings, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam. His personal Vishnu Tattva forms, which are all spiritual, are called Swamsa. And the living entities who are differentiated parts are called Vibhinnamsa. Some of the Vibhinnamsa forms are spiritual and some are a combination of matter and spirit. The conditioned souls in the material world are different from their external bodies made of material energy. Thus the demigods living in the upper planetary systems and the living entities living in the lower planetary systems are of same nature. Nonetheless, those living as human beings on this planet are sometimes attracted to worshipping the demigods in the higher planetary systems. Such worship is temporary. As the human beings on this planet have to change their bodies, tada dehantara prapti, the living entities known as Indra, Chandra, Varuna and so on will also have to change their bodies in due course of time. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedhasam. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Kamais taistair hritaggunanaha prapajyante anya devataha. Those who do not know the position of the demigods are inclined to worship the demigods for some material purpose, but the results of such worship are never permanent. Consequently, here it is said, Yatha Yate taresham pritagatmanam satam padopasarpanam mrisha bhavet. In other words, if one is to worship someone else, he must worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then his worship will never be fruitless. Svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a slight attempt to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a permanent asset. Therefore, as recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, tyaktva swadharmam charanambujam hare, one should take to the worship of the lotus feet of Hari, even if this means giving up the association of the occupational duty assigned because of the particular body one has accepted. Because worship in terms of the body is temporary, it does not bear any permanent fruit. But worship of Supreme Personality of Godhead gives immense benefit. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing the pastimes of like Supreme Personality of Godhead appearing in Lord Fish incarnation, Matsya incarnation. So from whatever the verses that we have gone through, we can see the wonderful mischievous pastimes of the Lord. So Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya chadushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To annihilate the miscreants and to deliver the pious. So I come again and again, like that Krishna gives a promise. Like that we can see in different incarnations, Lord appears and performs his wonderful pastimes. When you see like how in this pastime where King Satyavrata, actually in the beginning, the first verses will be very nice. If you take the beginning of this chapter, so the way this pastime starts is Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami that Bhagavan Shrotam Ichchami Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha Avatara Katham Adyam Maya Matsya Vidambanam, that Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is eternally situated in his transcendental position, yet he descends to his material world and manifests himself in various incarnations. His first incarnation was that of a great fish. So Adyam, Avatara Katham. So O most powerful Sukadeva Goswami, I wish to hear from you the pastimes of the fish incarnation. This is what the question like the Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami. So Sukadeva Goswami starts narrating the pastimes of the great fish incarnation. So we see the incarnations of the Lord, he keeps on coming. So like here in Bhagavatam it is said Matsya comes 2 times. So His Holiness Bhanusam Maharaj says that Matsya avatar comes like 16 times through the scriptures and all that. So one of the verse I want to show, like I want to just revise.
Can you elaborate on that 16 times?
Like many, like that there are many pastimes across the Puranas.
So Prabhupada just says 2.
Bhagavatam it comes 2 times. Yeah, in this chapter itself 2 times it comes. So the 5th text says, so Sri Shukavacha Govipra Surasadhunam Chandasam Apicheshwaraha Raksham Icham Stanurdatte Dharmasya Ardhasya Chaivahi. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, for the sake of protecting the cows, brahmanas, demigods, devotees, the Vedic literature, religious principles and principles to fulfill the purpose of life, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the forms of incarnation. So this is one of the reasons like Sukadeva Goswami is elaborating on why Lord is coming. So in the first avatara that is mentioned in this chapter, so when Brahma was going into sleep, so there will be a subsequent annihilation when Brahma goes into sleep at the end of the day. So while going into the sleep, he's like all the 4 heads are like constantly chanting Vedic mantras. So there is a demon Haigriva which steals the Vedic knowledge. That is what's said. And so Lord comes as Matsya avatar and rescues the Vedas. It's the first time.
But when I first read this,
Yeah.
I said, wow, kind of like the books, but there's no books.
Yeah.
So how does Brahma lose the Vedas and how does it get rescued? Can you explain it?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. He says, coming out of the Brahma's mouth is being said. We should read Acharya's commentary, how they steal and all that. So that is the first time, and then the second time is the pastime of King Satyavrata, where he goes to this lake. This is the lake name. It says river Kritamala. It's one of the holy rivers that time. So as usual, like when we go to any holy river, we take some water and offer the arghya, like giving it as a respectful offering. Like that, King Satyavrata was also taking water and is about to offer to the river Kritamala. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes as a small fish in his hands, and he is about to leap into the as a part of offering. Then the fish starts speaking, saying all these verses that we discussed today. That first, the king asked him, please don't release me back into this water body, because there are other living beings and like other animals which could eat me. So like that it prays to King Satyavrata, and then he takes the fish and puts it in a water jug, is what said. But in one night, the fish grew so much that the water jug doesn't fit it. And then the next day, fish again asks that this is not very comfortable place for me. So king, observing that the fish has grew so much, then he takes and put it in a lake. And then again the fish grows to the size of a lake. And then he asks, this reservoir of water is not enough. I want to be taken to a perpetual river like that, because it's so. Yeah, that's another question I don't know. Especially transferring from this big river body to ocean. Yeah, so these are some transcendental pastimes. Yeah, so this reservoir of water is not fit. So he asks. So then King Satyavrata takes it into a perennial river, and then even like the fish starts growing in size, and then it was transferred to a ocean, and then the Satyavrata king Maharaj understands that this is not just an ordinary fish. So then he prays these prayers, that after hearing these sweet words from Supreme he inquires, who are you, sir? You simply bewilder us like that. And then there will be like subsequent prayers. So when we read these wonderful pastimes, there is a verse in Padyavali. In the beginning of the Padyavali is a compilation of verses compiled by Sri Rupa Goswami. In that, like I think in the beginning itself, like 5th or 6th verse, there will be one sloka that is Ambodhi sthalatam, sthalam jaladhitam, dhuli lavasailatam, sailomrut kanatam, like that, vahni sitalatam, daham himatam, like that it comes. What it means is, Ambodhi Stalatam. So Lord Krishna's pastimes are so wonderfully mischievous and sweet. That's what the last two lines of the verse says. That he can transform Ambodhi, a great ocean, into a flat land. If you go to New Mexico, we can see like, white sands or something like that, where some thousands of years ago there is a big ocean which dried up, like that we hear these things. So Lord Ambodhi Stalatam, he can convert a big huge ocean into a flat land. And sthalam jaladhitam, he can flood a flatland into an ocean, like that. Ambodhi stalatam, sthalam jaladhitam, sailomrut kanatam, like that. Like he can take a dust particle and convert it into a mountain. He can convert a huge mountain into a dust particle. He can take a blade of grass and convert into a blade of lightning, like that. And vahni hit daham Vahni Sitalatam and Himam Dahanatam, like that it comes. That is, he can make ice like hotter and fire colder, like that. Ayati Yasyechaya, Ayati is Ityadi, etc. Yasyechaya, he performs by his own free will. Leela Durlalitat Bhuta Vyasanene Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. So that Supreme Personality of Godhead who performs this wonderful, mischievous pastimes, so to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my obeisances. So Lord's pastimes are so like mischievous and sweet. As I said in Paritranaya Sadhunam verses also, Vaishnavas say that, so when Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is coming as avatars or so on, or as avatari himself, like Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, so he comes for two reasons. The external reason is for the annihilation of the devotee, annihilation of the miscreants and so on. But the more internal reason is to play these wonderful pastimes with his devotees. We see in Mahabharata also where he exhibits various rasas in terms of Virya rasa with Bhishma and Sakya rasa with Arjuna, and so many rasas simultaneously he can perform. So that's the main reason why a Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna comes. So one of the things even in Gopi Gita we hear, so by hearing these pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead, we the ultimate purification of Jiva happens, and so that's what in one of the verse it says, Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadatatam bhuvi grinantiye bhurida jana. That is, the nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. Those narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So that is one of the verse which says about the importance of hearing the pastimes of the Lord. And
Vaisheshika says this is the anthem for the book distributors.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. And also Srila Prabhupada in the purport of the text 30 like quotes like how in this last prayer that like King Satyavrata is praying. So the prayers begin from our text 27. My Lord, you are certainly the inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead. I think Nunam tam Bhagavat Sakshat Dharir Narayano Avyayaha. Avyayaha is inexhaustible Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, Srihari. It is to show your mercy to the living entities that you have now assumed the form of an aquatic. And Namaste Purusha Sreshtha Sthityutpatti Apyayeshwara. So my Lord, Master of creation, maintenance and annihilation, O best of enjoyers, Lord Vishnu, you are the leader and destination of the surrendered devotees like us. Therefore, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So, His Holiness Bhanusa Maharaj says, so there are numerous, avatars of Lord Hari. So one must see, like Bhanusa Maharaj compares these avatars as like a waxing and waning of moon. So there is moon in its full form on the Purnami day, but you can see a portion of the moon, a portion of the moon. Because in this verse, the Amsa, Swamsa and Vibhinnamsa are discussed. So Bhanusa Maharaj takes the example of the moon. So there are other avatars also, but they are like that, not fully, full form of the moon, but it's in like waning of the moon. Like that we can see the avatars. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells in one of the commentary of Isopanishad that though there are numerous avatars that are there, the supreme avatari is Krishna, like Supreme Personality of Godhead. So avatari is the source of all incarnations. So here there is a discussion of the Swamsa and Vibhinnamsa. That is, Lord can he can be in his personal Vishnu Tattva forms, which is Swa Amsa. So Amsa is the portion, and the Swa Amsa is his portions as Vishnu Tattva forms, and Vibhinnamsa are the differentiated forms. So in this purport, it is discussed that so even the demigods like Indra, all the etc., are ordinary living entities who are differentiated parts and parcels of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they are these differentiated parts and parcels of the Lord. But the difference between the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have seen in this past time, he is growing and all. So we are all Anus, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is Vibhu. So, and also we are covered by our material energy and we take up this body, but so this body is not all in all. But for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his body and his self is non-differentiable. That's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. So, worship of demigods is actually, like Prabhupada discusses that it's actually temporary because it's coming to like the bodily concept. And also we can see from Bhagavad Gita, so this worship of demigods, the why people take to it is because like Prapajantena, like Anya Devata, so this verse is quoted. So basically the point here is that usually these demigods are performing their actions to please Lord Hari, so that if we pray a demigod, so they bestow some boons. So we go into this loop of doing some karmakandic way of pleasing the demigod, and they are bestowing boon and having this material prosperity, and again we forget Krishna and again do some activities. So we keep in the loop of cycle of birth and death. So to break the cycle of birth and death, one should take the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the shelter. So that's what this purport mainly says. So because there are a lot of verses, we are out of time. So I will, there is one article which appeared in Back to Godhead magazine, small, like just last 2 minutes. So it said how to pray to Lord Krishna. So in this, Vrajavihari Prabhu discusses there are 4 elements of prayer. From teachings of Queen Kunti, like as a summarization of the prayers of Queen Kunti. So there are 4 aspects of prayer which I will just read out. So often we mistake prayer to mean asking benedictions from God. But Srimad Bhagavatam reveals that before we ask God to give us what we want, we would do well to examine other components of prayer. A devotee of Krishna learns to pray by studying the prayers of stalwart devotees. So Queen Kunti's prayers in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us to first praise the Lord, then express our own disqualifications, then thank Him for all He has given us, and finally request Him for the blessings we seek. So like that, the entire teachings of Queen Kunti is divided into 4 parts, like the 4 elements of this. So the 4 elements discussed is first to praise the Lord, then express our own disqualifications like in Dainya, and then thank Him for all He has given us, and finally request us for the blessings we seek. So first, that's why if we like take the teachings of Queen Kunti, she glorified Krishna's amazing power of independence, which he exhibits by remaining invisible to all living entities, although he is present in hearts of all. Kunti reveals that Krishna is like an expert actor who is unrecognizable to the ignorant. These are the first 2 verses. Namasya Purusham Tvadyam Ishvara Prakriteh Param Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Anta Bahira Vastitham, like that. Maya Javanikachanam also is quoted.
But isn't the first thing to do is to offer obeisances? Namasya.
Namasya.
And it's also her last word in her prayers is namaste.
Namasya, yeah.
So, yeah.
Anta Bahira Avasthitam, yeah. So she then presents her disqualification to know Krishna. She says that she is a simple woman and only highly realized sages can know him. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport to this verse that Krishna knows one's sincerity of purpose and one's simplicity in accepting the Lord's authority as exhibited by Kunti, and that these qualities are more effective than showy, insincere religious fervor. And the third element, so Kunti Devi thanks Krishna for all the help he provided her family. Often we express thanks to God for everything he has done for us, and this is usually said in general sense. Kunti, however, explains in specific details how Krishna protected her and her sons from many dangers. She thus teaches that gratitude is shown more by a specific delineation of Lord's blessings upon us than by a general expression of gratitude. Remembrance of God's specific kindness upon us helps us connect to His love on a deeper level. And the fourth element, towards the end of her prayers, Kunti Devi asks Krishna to break all her material bonds and allow her to fix her mind exclusively on Him. She wants no distraction on the path of devotional service to the Lord. These are the 4 components of prayer in the article, How to Pray, How Do We Pray to Krishna, appeared in February 2022. Yeah.
Okay, I know we're out of time, but I can't resist.
Yes. Yeah, please.
The most favorite ever prayer. Twahi me ananya vishaya mati madhupate asakrit ratamud mahatara dha gange baugamuda adanvati. O Madhu's Lord, please ever fill my mind with thoughts of thee, not any other kind. As Ganges torrent flows into the sea, let all my love flow constantly to thee.
Jai. That's all. If anyone has any questions or comments, please. Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada just says that Raha appears only twice, and Matsya appears twice.
Yeah.
Saying Bhanu Swami says he appears 16 times.
Yeah, he said like
So
that.
do you think maybe Prabhupada doesn't know outside of that Matsya appears outside of Bhagavatam? Or maybe he's just saying it like that? I mean, it could be. Like Prabhupada says he's not an expert on like all aspects of it. But
Maybe he knows, but maybe this is a detail it's not.
apparently, I don't know what the quote is, apparently he said that about the cosmos, you know, when they're discussing the layout of the cosmos, saying it's not my field, you know, you guys can study it and become experts. And
Yeah.
figure it out. So maybe, but what does that mean about Varaha? Because we tend to say, and that's repeated, that Varaha appears twice.
Yeah.
Colors. Does Bhanu Swami say that Varaha also appears even more than those?
No, Varaha Bhanuswami Maharaj says twice. I saw a lecture where he mentioned. Yeah, he said Matsya 16 times. Yeah.
Surely, like, did he actually read all of Skanda Purana and Padma Purana, or is he just kind of going based on other authorities?
I don't know. Yeah. But Bhanuswami Maharaj is well versed, right? Like, yeah. Yes. But the point there is like Lord can come again and again. We can see also the colors of Varaha is also not same. Once he comes in green, another is yellow or something.